Hello and welcome to nepaltraveler.com. We are back once again with a very interesting episode on the Travel Trade Talk. Joining me today is a very special guest, Mr. Robert Key from Singapore. He's an engineer, an entrepreneur, a philanthropist, and has had a long and wonderful relationship with Nepal. Welcome to the show, sir.
No, thank you, Terence. Yeah.
So, sir, to start with, on your association with Nepal for the last 25, 26 years, how has that been and how did you first associate with Nepal?
Oh, okay. I'm a rather strange Singaporean, you know. I'm 78 years old. When I was 50, I felt that a bit tired of business. So I wanted to do philanthropic work. And so I chose the two poorest country in the UNDP Development Index, you know, below 150. And the two poorest country at that time in the year 2000 was Cambodia and Nepal. So I went to Cambodia, you know. So right now I have a very big project in Cambodia. We have 35 staff. We have a children's home. We have a community project. We have a livelihood project. And I think the last 20 years we spent more than 100 crore in Cambodia, more than 100 crore, you know. Then I came to Nepal in year 2000. And then I felt that this is also a place where I can do more with my philanthropy. So in many other charities, they are working as employees. But for me, I'm not an employee. I use my own money. So if it's my own money and also other people's money, one of the things I felt is very important is that the donation must reach the beneficiary, you know. And this is something I find that maybe that's not the case in many cases, you know. So let me give you an example. I still remember my first project was a major flood in Manahari at the Terai area. There was a big flood, you know. So my contact here, he said, okay, you try and do something. So I said, all right. So I brought 10,000 US with me, you know, and and then we went to Manahari, with another friend, but we took a bus. It cost about $4, you know, and then we stayed in a guest house that cost $10. So the 10,000 almost 100% went into providing rice and other things for the villagers, you know. All the expenses I pay from my own, you know. Then it was very interesting because at that time they will have the Maoists, you know, so we were a bit afraid. So my friend suggested, why don't you invite a junior minister, because he will bring the soldiers and the police. So we invited a junior minister, and he brought, true enough, he brought his soldiers, and he sat next to me, of course, you know. Then very interesting, he was younger than me, but he called me, young man, this is your first project in Nepal, is it? I said, yes. Oh, I know, you are very inexperienced. I said, sir, Excellency, what is wrong? He said, you are giving to 1,000 families, you know. The TV camera cannot capture 1,000 families. If you put 300 families, it looks a lot already. So you should divide into 3
different events.
Different events, and you get more publicity, you know. Then I said, young man, where is your photography? Where is your videographer? I say, I don't have. My volunteer is using his phone to take, you know. Oh, say, no, people don't do like that. You know, you must bring videographer, you must do professional shot, then you can raise money. So we are very different, you know. We don't do do things, and so we make sure the money goes to the poor. That is my main emphasis. Yeah.
In Singapore, you also did a study, and I think your research is being used for many of the NGOs to make sure that the logistic cost is less and it actually goes to.
No. It's not. It's okay. It's very, very interesting. Yeah, I'm very glad you point this out, because in a lot of charities, as the big one, they are based on invoices. Very accounting based. Now when I first started my project in Cambodia, I stay 1 month. 1 month Cambodia, 1 month Singapore, 1 month Cambodia, alternate month for 2 years. 2 or 3 years, 1 month back Singapore, 1 month. By staying alternate month in Cambodia, I can see the operations. I know what is happening. Now, so I have developed what I call street smart processes that can detect and prevent fraud without relying on invoices. Now, let me give you a simple example. I have visited children's homes, Cambodia, Philippines, Nepal, Indonesia, Thailand, many countries. And I always ask one question: where is your weighing machine? No children's home in all the countries I visited in 20 years have shown me a weighing machine. Now, why is that important? Because in a children's home, the biggest budget is your food. So imagine the cook come and say, I bought 20 kg of chicken, please record. How do you know it's 20 kg? There's no weighing machine. I bought so many kg of vegetables. How do you know? So the chances of fraud is, I tell you, 100%. Can you imagine? Like now, today, my home in Cambodia, every day the wet food market is 70 US. But my staff salary is 150 US. Imagine I'm giving her cash, half month salary every day. And if you don't control it. Yeah. So this is kind of processes that actually I developed. And actually now I want to share. I want to share with any NGOs or people that if you want to really learn, I'm willing to teach you, So we call it very street smart processes, things that you only know if you are very hands-on, if you live there long enough. Let me give an example. One day I was sitting in my children's home in Cambodia, and then the man came to exchange gas. We got a big 4-foot gas tank for cooking. Then he take my empty gas tank and he give me a full gas tank. I stop. This empty gas tank, let me see the weight. I weigh, minus the weight of the tank. It's not empty. It's 1/3 full. Then I say, give me your full gas tank. I weigh minus the weight of gas tank. It is not full. It's 2/3 full. So he's giving me a gas tank that is 2/3 full, and in return, I'm giving him a gas tank that's 1/3 full. So I'm buying 1/3 full of gas. But the invoice will say I'm buying a full tank of gas. Now, this kind of street smart fraud processes, nobody in the world will do. Only with experience that you can find. So I'm very, very keen to promote this. Because I think there's too much fraud going on. Too much, especially in children's homes. Too much money has gone to, God knows where.
Leakage. But you also do a children's home in Pokhara, and that's how it starts the story coming to the resort.
Yes. Yes, I think so. This is because from my experience in Cambodia. So we started this year, and I think one of the things that I want to internationally, there is a movement against children's home. They say it's not good, it's institutionalized and this and that. And I do agree, that a lot of children's home are subjected to fraud and all kinds of funny things. So my suggestion is, do not have a children's home that is a one-man show. That means I start the children's home, I operate the children's home. No, have a board that oversee it. So like me, the children's home is overseen by me in Singapore. So if you want to have a children's home in Nepal, have a board of directors, and the one who runs the children's home is only the manager, an employee. He doesn't make money from the children's home. He gets a salary. That in this case, you will reduce abuse. Don't allow anyone. Okay, I just rent a small house and then have a few kids and then put a website and then collect donation. That is not good because there's no governance and it can lead to a lot of abuse. Have some governance. Yeah.
And this children home in Pokhara that you started your association there, how long has that been? And following that, you actually started where we come to the project of the hotel.
Yeah, actually was started many years ago, more than 15 years ago. It was actually in Kathmandu. And then we transferred from Kathmandu to Pokhara, yes.
And how did this plan or the project of starting this Himalayan Hideaway, which is now one of the most talked about resorts, just recently launched?
Okay, I have done a lot of ad hoc projects in Nepal during the earthquake, So I went around and I find that the houses that are damaged are in the mountain areas, in Dading, in Gorkha. So I go to Sindapucho, Bospor, a lot of areas, and I even live in tents up in the mountain. So all the houses were destroyed because up in the mountain they were made of stone and mud, because they cannot carry the bricks up. There's no road access. So I said, well, how do we then solve this problem? Because we can't carry the bricks over. So I follow this idea of rice bag. So we bring empty rice bag and we fill it up with soil, and then that formed the wall of the house. And we have built 155 rice bag house. And then during the COVID, there was a huge need for oxygen concentrator. So I bought 85 oxygen concentrator and many masks, and I gave to about 7 hospitals, within Nepal. Then as I keep doing this work, I realized that really, if you want to help Nepal, they all need one thing: jobs. So the best thing is to build a hotel, and to create jobs for them. Yeah, I think that's the best thing. All this ad hoc thing is good, I feel good, they feel good, but not so lasting. So job is really is really more permanent. Yes.
And so when did you decide that I want to build this hotel, and how did that process go, including the Centara?
Actually, initially I thought, okay, I build a small hotel, and then let's see how it goes, like a hobby. Then I started to think later on, oh, who is going to run the hotel, Then I started to search around for operator, and I found that I got another operator. It was not Centara, and they were operating in the Maldives. So I find that, I talked to a few operators. They don't want to run small hotel. They want resort. They want 5-star resort. So I said, all right, then let's go for the 5-star resort. That's how it ended up. I started with a small hotel, but ended up 5-star because all the operators only want to operate 5-star resort. Yeah, but I also find that looking around, honestly, I may be wrong, but there are very few resorts in Nepal. Okay, to me, a resort is a destination. You don't stay here for 1 night, 2 nights, and then go trekking and then come back, So a lot of the hotels in the mountain areas, they are meant for trekkers. They stay 1 night, 2 nights, but they don't stay in the resort as a destination. I bring my family there and I stay a few days and I come back every year. Every year is a destination. So I thought, yeah, this is something I want to elevate the hotel experience and bring more high net worth people, travelers to Nepal, So this is something my contribution to Nepal. I hope I can bring in more high net worth travelers to come to Nepal, Yeah.
And this Kasikot area, as we were talking about a destination, so I believe you can actually have a lot of activities, a lot of places to visit. You're trying to develop that also as a destination.
Yes. I think CSR is something very important to us, and yeah, we will try to see how we can work with the surrounding communities. I've done a lot of funny things. I think my gift is I'm able to start projects. So one of the projects which I've started in Cambodia was to make polymer clay jewelry.
Okay.
And this is a very interesting thing because it has to be handmade. And this is something I was telling Asta I may want to introduce to the community here, and it can be a good livelihood income for the villagers, And I've also started helped to start a soap factory, and this woman, she has actually she married Indian, so she has moved to India. So her company is called Touch Nature, and you can see that a lot of soap and candles. But I was one who taught her. So yeah, so I not just hotelier. I can teach you polymer clay. I can teach you how to make soap. Yeah, and my biggest project now, which maybe I can bring to Nepal, is I'm converting organic waste into organic fertilizer in 15 hours.
Okay.
So we are collecting a lot of waste, rubbish, rotten vegetable, fruits, fish waste, duck manure, and we can convert it into fertilizer. So I bought this machine. It's designed in Singapore but made in China, and that is a 200,000 US project.
Okay.
Yeah, so we are testing it in Cambodia. So once it's good, maybe this is something I think will be very useful to Nepal, Yeah, so I'm also thinking of maybe we make a smaller machine. Yeah, so I'm an engineer.
Yes, you are.
Yeah,
Right.
so my passion is always targeting at how we can help the poor,
And about your resort, what is your message, let's say, to the traveler? Because Nepal is a tourism destination. There are a lot
Yes.
of travelers who want to experience Nepal. So, what
Yes.
is your advice in terms of talking about your resort?
Yeah, I think one of the main thing I felt, when I travel, uh, it is very good to make friends. I think it's not just about traveling, Like traveling, you meet friends, and then you became somehow when you meet traveling friends, you can become very good friends, So if you look at my hotel, we have a swimming pool, then we have a main restaurant, we have a library, specialty restaurant, a bar. So we have a very nice alfresco dining area. So my hope is that this will become a networking area. So my guest comes here and network together, and it becomes a place where everybody can meet each other, And also, having traveled a lot, whatever I dislike about hotels, I correct it. So one of the things I dislike about hotel is it is very claustrophobic. You get a room, there is a window, but most of the time the window is closed. You look outside, there's not much view, and you're just in a small room, and really you only go there to sleep. You can't stay long in the room, right? So my idea is that, look, this is a resort, it's a Himalayan mountains. So I try to reduce as many brick walls as possible. So my guest room is got glass doors, and most important, this is something you will not find in other hotels. I have the skylight. So when you lie on the bed, you can see the stars. Every room have a skylight. So with the skylight and the glass doors, when you are inside the room, you don't feel like you are in a room.
You are in nature.
Yeah, you are indoor, but you feel like you're outdoor. So this is something very special about our hotel, you know, especially with the skylight. You really feel very airy, and then also the rooms are very big. My standard room is 40 square meter, 400 square feet or more. It's very big for standard room. And I think we are the only standard room in Nepal that comes with a private garden. Which standard room gives you a private garden, you know? So again, this is something I feel that, yes, if you want to stay long, you are not going to stay in the room all the time. Then if you feel like it, you can go out, sit in the garden, have tea or something, you know? So you have this choice. And for our suite, we have a very big room and also a big balcony. And something very, very unusual, a rooftop garden. So our suite, which is a 500 square feet built-in room, plus a big balcony, plus a rooftop garden, I think it's about 700 square feet. You really feel luxury in that sense, you know.
And a lot of traditional elements also are in the design and everything.
Yeah. I think not so much traditional, but I think we try to create more of a family atmosphere. So like our doors were interconnecting, and even our rooftop garden are interconnected, you know. So I understand that in Nepal, a lot of the grandfather will stay in the room, and then all the grandchildren will gather upstairs in the roof garden. Yeah. So I think we wanted to do that, you know. And I haven't finished decorating my roof garden, but I love roof garden. So I hope to make it really very beautiful. And then Nepal is a beautiful place for flowers and plants, you know. Yeah, this is something we want to do. But on top of that, as an engineer, I also put in a lot of challenges. Now, one of the big problems hotelier tell me is that you got big sliding door, you know, very good. But what happened is the guests open it and the aircon is on and the heater is on. You know, your electricity will go up. Then I find that to have HVAC that can trigger the open and close clock is very expensive. So I designed my own system. Yeah. So when the door is open, the HVAC will cut off. Yeah. So I can buy a normal HVAC and use my own system. That one I designed myself.
So a lot of ingenuity and everything.
Yeah, and then we also have a rainwater harvesting system. We have a 200,000 liter tank which we collected rainwater, and then on top the tea house got another 100,000 liter of water. So we also try to be as eco-friendly. And then also initially I wanted to use solar panel, but then they said Pokhara cannot because got clouds. You know, you can't use solar panel. So we use heat pump. Yeah, so heat pump saves a lot of electricity, but it's more expensive. Yeah. Then the other thing also is we see this hotel is standard. You look at standard downlights, right? Every hotel, very boring. So my daughter-in-law, she's a Thai, so all our lights are very unique. So if you look in our reception, we have a 4 feet wooden fish as our light.
Okay.
A wooden fish 4 feet. And in our main restaurant, we also got a cluster of fishes floating around with the lights. So our lights is all fishes. In our bar, it's all monkeys. In our tea house, it's birds.
Okay.
No downlights. Very boring, yeah. So this is something we try to put more personal elements inside, you know, because I think we are one of the very few hotels that the owner is very involved. we don't contract to a contractor architect. You build a hotel. When it's finished, then I come, So we are very involved, yeah. And because I've been building children's home in Cambodia, one of the things I realized is there's a big fraud in construction if you are not careful. So a lot of people don't understand that 30 to 40% of the cost of the building is underground, is a foundation. Yeah. So here, because of earthquake, I make sure that the foundations are there. I can show the photographs. So when they're there, I check. And when they dig the footers, I say, no, is it hard enough? I use a chanko and hit it. Make sure that it's deep enough. And when they do the footers and the rebar, I say, don't cover with concrete first. Because you cover in concrete, I cannot see the rebar. So I'll come with the vernier caliper, measure the diameter of the rebar, count how many rebars, all correct, according to drawing. Okay, then you fill up the concrete. And then with the concrete, we make sure it's M25 standard, which is 1 part cement, 1.5 part sand and stone. So a lot of cement. So I can make sure the contractor follow this. Yeah. So it's a lot of and we have a double brick wall in our resort. Yeah, double brick wall. And my builder says very few construction in Nepal have double brick wall. Yeah. And everything I look at it, I want to make sure it is the best. So like even the skylight. Then after that, I write that, oh my God, you have hailstone in Pokhara. Then I Google some more, it can be as big as a tennis ball. So I said, oh, then I must make sure my skylight don't break, So finally I source it in China, Then when we bring the skylight, we took one sample and we put it on bricks, suspended bricks, and we climb up to the top of our guest house, 2-story high, and we start throwing bricks down, and not a scratch. Yeah, it's a 12 millimeter toughened glass, not a scratch. And then I'm also not happy. So on top of it, I put a 3M security film. Yeah. So you can see the video on 3M. They put the glass and they shoot the gun. It cracks. You put the security film, you shoot, it cracks. Then you walk to the glass, use a baseball bat, and you whack 10 times, it still won't break. So I have security glass film on the top. And to make sure the glass don't fall on the gas, I have a second film on the bottom. So it's all these details. The devil is in the details. Yeah, that makes the hotel. Maybe the guests don't see it, but we make sure it's there. The devil is in the details. Yeah.
So, as a Singaporean who has invested into Nepal in terms of humanitarian work and now with the hotel, how do you see Nepal as a destination for tourists, especially maybe for Singaporeans? What is the attraction there?
I think that there is a huge potential. The most important thing that I think we need is to open the international airport at Pokhara. Yeah. Because for international flight, it is auto landing and takeoff. That means whether it's fall, windy or whatnot, the plane can still take off, So, like when I first came, this trip, when I came Kathmandu to Pokhara, flight delayed 5 hours. And yesterday, when I came back from Pokhara to Nepal, Kathmandu, delayed 4 hours. So I think for travelers, this is
Hassle. It's a hassle, big hassle.
a bit hassle, and they may be frightened. When, and we do not know. For me, I traveled so many years, it's okay, But delayed 1 o'clock, no, 2 o'clock, no, 3 o'clock, oh, this is very frightening. So I think having the international airport is very important because you also save time. You don't want to come Cambodia, Kathmandu, stay one night and then fly to Pokhara and then vice versa. You may spend 2 days traveling, 2 days going out, 4 days is traveling. So not so productive, But if the international flight can fly direct to Pokhara and back, I think really we can attract a lot more Singapore travelers. Really, yes. Yeah, I think this is a place where many Singaporeans will come, but they are afraid of the. I think I'm very adventurous, but many of my friends they say, "We fly to Pokhara. What kind of plane?" I say, "Propeller plane." Oh, no, thank you, no, thank you, thank you. So
There's issues.
a lot of them are scared of this thing, So if we have a inter flight, I think we'll bring in a lot more. No, we are talking about high net worth people, and they are very afraid of accident, and you hear all the crashes, and everybody's afraid. So we must remove the fear.
And you, as an investor into Nepal, I mean, we all know Nepal can be a difficult place to do business, especially with foreign direct investment, and we
Yes.
want it, but we pose some challenges.
Yes.
How has that entire experience been as an investor? How?
Honestly, I think very few Singaporeans will invest in Nepal, But because I've been here 20 years and I'm familiar with all the difficulties, the earthquake was a nightmare. We want to build houses for the earthquake victims, And then we were told that you cannot build it because all donations must go to the Prime Minister office. And then if we want to do it, we must go through the Prime Minister. So it was very difficult, And then we went to a place called Gallery, and then the ward, it was we went to see the CDO. I said, oh, if you want to build, you must build for all the villages, 400 houses. So I said, no problem. Then he said, are you sure? I said, I'm very sure. So we signed the MOU, MOU with 400. So you guarantee me? I said, yes, yes. Then I bring my staff there to prepare, And then another NGO came and they offered money. So the villagers were given a choice. Either they take the rice bag house from me or money. So what do you think they take?
Money.
Money. So they say we don't want my rice bag house. So I said, oh my goodness, I can't. Then the CDO chased me. You promised to build 400. You cannot break that promise. I said, I'm not breaking the promise. The village you don't want. So I got trapped, So I got to. So you see, I'm familiar with all these problems. So yeah.
As a last question, what would you tell visitors or potential tourists about your resort and about going to that area, developing that destination?
Yeah, I think 𝐶𝐞𝐞 is an interesting place. Now they have got the world longest zip line there. And then also paragliding, which I tried. I think it's very interesting experience. And also I think it is a good place for staying for a longer period of time. And also if you want some excitement, you can go down to Lakeside, and there's a cable car, go down to Lakeside. So you get the best of both worlds. So I'm trying now. I have a very big TV, a 2-meter long TV in my main restaurant.
Okay.
Huge TV, which I bought from China, and as an engineer, I install it myself. So I was telling my people that there are many opportunities for events. So for example, we can invite doctors to come, and then I can have doctors, specialists in Singapore to do a Zoom, and they can do a training for the Nepali doctors. Yeah. So many
There's a lot of opportunity.
opportunities, even investment. We can present investment opportunities, and the people in Nepal can come and listen, whether it's in education, healthcare, or what. It's also a good opportunity. No, Zoom is beautiful. So you can
Interact live with them.
interact live with them. So it's not just a hotel. It can be a place for education and
Everything.
for everything. And also I think we hope finally to uplift the community around us. To all the villagers around that. I love villages.
The philanthropy part of you always kicks in. You want to develop
Yeah,
the
you know
community.
why? This is something I didn't tell you. I'm also the amateur magician. Oh, so I go down to the village. The kids love me. Yeah.
So I read somewhere they called you grandfather.
Yes, grandfather. Yes. So and then in closing, I think giving hope to the children. So in my last trip 2 months ago, I was here. So Melinda Nepali, she's one of our children, and she just graduated as a doctor. So she's working in one hospital far away. So she took a 10 hours bus ride to see me. And she was graduating this year in September. So I'm very happy that we got a graduate doctor from our children's home. And now one boy, he's very confident he can pass. So he also wants to be a doctor. Yeah, so I think giving hope to the children, is very good. Yeah.
So thank you so much for taking the time to
Thank you,
talk to
Terence.
us.
Yes.
And all the best for your new projects, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.